Are live, Believe Nation. How we doing? Happy Wednesday. Wednesday's my project day, so it's nice. I have one day per week that I just focus on whatever I want to focus on. I pick a project and I just go all in on it all day, which is awesome. My Tuesdays and Thursdays are pretty super jam-packed. My Tuesdays are all making YouTube videos. So it's like all day making YouTube videos for my channels and strategizing. And then Thursdays, tomorrow's going to be crazy again, just doing interviews and hangouts and podcasts and just bonkers all day. And so today, I like having the day just in the middle, just be totally open, totally free. I think if you're overscheduled, sometimes it limits creativity and productivity. So I sandwich my two crazy scheduled days, which is execution mode, with Wednesday, open day, to do whatever I want. So this is it. This is my break. This is my break from doing the work that I'm doing to come and chat with you guys and be here. And I see a special guest to bring in, see how I can help, who's, I think, new to Instagram. And we'll see how I can bring some value. Ho-ho!
Hi. Hello. Hi.
How you doing?
Very good. How are you?
This
It's Terry. Terry Cohen. How are you?
I'm great. So Terry's part of my Movement Makers program, and as part of that, we do an IG Live together. So welcome aboard. Where's home for you right now?
Montreal.
Montreal.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
are you at your office? I see you had the
Yeah.
mask
Yeah.
on.
At the office. Yeah. At the office. Yeah. Yeah. Was
Cool.
there other people on this? I'm not sure how this works. Yeah.
Well, there's people who are watching, but it's just you and me.
And they're listening to what we're saying. Is that it as well?
Yeah. Spread your message and let people know what you're up to.
Nothing. Just I guess just wanted to get some kind of perspective in terms of what I should do next and what I want to do.
Great.
My background is simple. I'll say it in a minute or less. Basically, 25 plus years as in CFO, finance level positions. 25 years teaching at university here in the School of Continuing Studies, accounting classes, and trying to leverage that online. Trying to leverage those two experiences and try to find a way to leverage it, share it, and teach it, and do it on a broader scale.
So
I have a full-time job, obviously, so I've got constraints because very busy in a senior role, so that prevents a bit of the time factor becomes a bit of an issue.
do you want to be an outsourced CFO for companies and target, and work with 5 to 10 businesses? Or do you want to spread financial awareness to the masses?
Probably more of coaching, mentoring. Been there, done that. 20 for some people who are interested in understanding what it takes and what's required in all the functions in finance, admin, and certain parts of operations, as well as those who want to learn accounting, specifically in terms of broadening their skills, or whether they're coming into Canada or North America, and being able to guide them and let them know, kind of what they need to do, and what it's all about, and how it works, and what's really behind the scenes, and what they really should expect to do, to know, etc. I guess. Also trying to figure out what I want, what it is that I can offer. But I figured it's that because that's what I've done.
Yeah, so, the part-time CFO is definitely an opportunity. You come in and you help companies, especially high-growth companies that are struggling. And when I was in the venture capital business, we often referred companies to it because now they got funding and they don't have, they've never seen so much money in their business before, and they don't have discipline, they don't have rules, and they don't know how to handle it. And so you have a part-time CFO who comes in and basically coaches, whether it's fee for service, whether it's taking a small piece of the company, and you're helping guide this business forward. It's a select group of people who are high growth, who you believe in and you like the entrepreneur, and they're going to listen to you.
Yeah, yeah,
Because there's
yeah,
no point working
exactly,
with them if they don't
exactly.
take feedback. And you're kind of the bad guy, right? I mean, the fast growing entrepreneur wants to go and spend, and you're the like, hey, okay, like let's
Yeah,
relax a bit here and let's
exactly.
be right. So, but a lot of the high growth entrepreneurs actually need somebody to pump the brakes a little bit and just make sure that they don't just burn into flames.
Yeah, exactly.
So you work, I mean, that's working with 5 to 10 companies a year. It's not a giant, it's not trying to build a giant message out there. You just have to be known in the right communities. Uh,
Yeah,
so that's option one. Option
yeah,
two, coaching people who come over, it could work. A lot of times they just don't have the budget to get paid what you're worth.
yeah,
So somebody who's just thinking about starting a business, I mean, that's the last thing they want to spend money on. Accounting
yeah, exactly.
practices and finance, right? I
Yeah,
mean, they don't want to spend money on lawyers. They don't want to spend money
yeah.
on account, right? They don't want to spend
And
money.
we
They
don't
want to
even
spend
want to
money
do
on,
it now.
yeah, it's like they want products. Like, how do I get I need to get my products out there. Right? They're worried about marketing. Um, there could be some, like the market there is more somebody who's already had success overseas and is coming here and just wants to make sure they're doing it all legit and not breaking any kind of rules, or baby boomers who are retiring, who are starting their own company and have some money and understand the value of professional help.
Yeah,
But for the
yeah,
most part, most startups just don't have a lot of money, so it's really hard to sell. I mean, it's badly needed,
yeah,
but professional advice is really hard to sell in a coaching model to startups.
yeah. And I
um,
think the what I had in mind is, and I've been having taught, still teaching for the last 25 years. I can see the students, the what makes up the majority of my students, is they're coming from everywhere. I teach at McGill, so
mhm.
they're coming from all over the place, and they really appreciate the value and the bridge that I create between the textbook, the concepts, the theory, and the actual application for them. So I was thinking more along the lines of okay, so if you're coming here and you want a career in accounting, you want a career in finance, you want a career in admin, and I can I have both sides. I've taught, so I know obviously by trade I'm a CA by trade,
Mhm.
so I've got that competency and as well the teaching side of it. And I figured that the clients or the people coming in looking for that career over here, that I can try to capture that niche. That's what I'm thinking, as opposed to going as a job, so to speak, like as a CFO for multiple entities. So I was thinking along that angle. That's why I threw in the coaching, mentoring, because it's a bit of that and a bit of guidance. Um,
It's totally doable. I mean, the CFO to work too, if you can take a piece of the upside of the business, that then
yeah,
creates
yeah,
leverage for you. So it's not just pay for service. Um, but if you're doing coaching, it's still pay for service. You're just
yes,
now
yeah,
taking on more people and charging less than you would going into a
yeah,
company.
yeah,
So it's, I don't know what you want to call a job,
yeah,
versus part-time CFO. I mean, I think if you're going after, think about your students who are coming in, how many of them would, maybe there's conflict of interest for what you could actually, you're right, you can't
yes,
say,
of
hey,
course,
hire
yeah,
me. But in terms of budget, how many of the students could actually afford to hire you for any kind of reasonable rate that would make sense? Maybe, especially if they're coming
yeah,
from overseas and have rich families, and sure.
yeah,
Most students who are local or coming from Ontario, Canada, wherever, probably wouldn't.
yeah,
They would
yeah,
love the opportunity to talk with you, but they just wouldn't be able to afford anything remotely close to what you would be able to turn into a living.
right, yeah,
If
exactly,
it's a part-time fun hobby and it's $50 an hour or something, sure, but
yeah,
that's not really going to be super significant. And especially considering your time constraint,
yeah,
you don't want to be
yeah.
doing 100 people a week,
Yeah, no,
just
no, agreed,
feeding them
agreed.
through.
Yeah, yeah. What
Um,
about what about posting? I know a lot of people do it. So courses online, like making a series of whether it's accounting, whether it's I know there's hundreds of them all over the
yeah.
internet. But what's your take on? that space right now.
I like it. I think so. I would gear you either towards the high end, which is the part-time CFO thing, or the mass, which is now you're creating content. You can create a course and you have the knowledge. The problem is you don't have a brand yet.
Right.
People don't know who you are. Now, you have a little bit of brand in that, hey, you've been doing this for X number of years. You have this degrees and certification. You've taught at institutions that people can recognize. So they may not know your name, but they might recognize McGill or top university in Canada, that kind of thing. So you've got a little bit backing behind you, but then it's creating content. So it's leveraging a new skill that you may not have yet, but I mean, you're used to speaking. You've been in front of an audience. It's not just like somebody who's going to be super shy and doesn't know how to present content. It's more starting to create, like on this account. There's nothing happening on this account yet, right?
Yeah, right. Yeah, exactly.
So it's spending time to build up a brand because only a certain number of people will ever buy your thing. But the free leads you to the paid. So having a lot of people consuming your content, whatever the biggest problems you think are, like whatever the biggest financial lessons you think are for entrepreneurs that everybody's making, that you see all the time, and you have to learn this, guys, if you want to build a business and not go bankrupt. That's content that then you create, whether that's YouTube videos, Instagram clips, coaching like this, like you bring on people who are struggling and you coach them and help them and just guide them through. And then in your bio is the link to your course, or the link to your book, or the link to hire you for speaking. To make that work, it definitely can. It takes a lot more time, longer term time and patience and consistency versus if you wanted to do the part-time CFO thing, you could just make some connections and already have introductions to be in that world. It's more, what do you want to do?
Yeah.
Either path could work.
And in terms of portals or mediums, for something like the coaching, the courses, is it YouTube or is there one that you would recommend is a little better to eventually lead to some kind of monetization or
I would look at both YouTube and Instagram right now.
Okay.
I would only talk about things that are timeless. Okay. So a lot of the financial principles are timeless, right? I mean, if things from 10 years ago are still relevant, the principles are still relevant. The specifics of what do you do in COVID with the government stimulus or whatever, that's not going to age very well.
No.
So I would make content towards timeless principles that you see over and over and over again. And either direct to camera where you're filming. I don't know if can you even film your classes?
Actually right now, I have to do them because I'm teaching actually virtually. And so we do record the classes, and I believe that the property does belong to us, to the lecturers. So I'm doing that. I don't know if I can. I know they belong to us, but I'm not sure if I could just go and share them. Not quite sure if I could do that.
You know Jordan Peterson?
No.
He's worth looking into. He's a Harvard-trained University of Toronto professor.
Okay.
More on the psychology side than kind of the finance side, but he's probably the biggest professor on YouTube. A couple million subscribers. Okay. Uploads his full lectures that are, an hour and a half, 2 hour long videos.
Yeah, mine are 2.5 to 3 hours. It's a 3-hour class.
Very minimal editing. Most of his were from his actual class. So there's somebody with a phone or whatever recording him in his class. But you're right, with Zoom or remote learning now, it's even easier. You already have it. I would just double check if you actually have the permissions to to put it up. But if you do, that's fantastic because you're already creating content. YouTube is the home for long form content. And if
Right.
it's good, people will watch it, right? Like they're really struggling with that thing. You may not get 1 million subscribers because it's not as sexy a topic, right? But that's okay. You also don't need to get 1 million subscribers. There's a lot of meat in the content that you're putting up. You're not just talking about, like, to go for 3 hours, you're not just talking about surface level things. You're diving really deep and giving people some good education. And then if they want to learn more, you have your link to then find more about you, your website. Do you have a personal website?
No, 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 don't have any of that yet.
So
we just created, actually about 3 weeks ago, I started we're getting to the 4th session. With someone that we created it's a career in Canada kind of thing, career in Canada, accounting and finance. And I did 3 1 hour to 1 hour and 15-minute sessions with people from international and local. There was about 23 people, 22 people. And I talked about interviewing, describing the jobs in accounting. So I had Zooms. I had 3 of those. So I'm doing the 4th one this weekend. And so as a result of that, we just created a Facebook page yesterday, a Facebook group to be able to try to bring them in there as well. So I do have some content that's fairly recent, but I'm not sure how good it is, but it's there.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't at the beginning try to overwhelm you by saying you need to have all of these platforms up and going and running, because that just adds a lot of stress and likely won't lead to a lot of results. I just have one place. So if you want to do a Facebook group, great. Yeah. Then in your bio of your YouTube and in the description of your YouTube videos to say, hey, to learn more, join our Facebook group.
Right.
And then you start building your community while you're thinking about what kind of product you want to offer, what kind of training, what kind of course that complements what you're doing with the university curriculum, because you're not going to just sell the exact same thing.
No, so exactly. Yeah.
What's going to be different? Something a little more digestible, so it's not 3 hours, times a whole semester.
Yeah.
Right. And then that's what you end up selling through the Facebook group and your YouTube channel. But just to have a place where people can go to be a part of your community. So if you want to do YouTube and Facebook, Facebook kind of sucks organic. So you're not going to get a lot of reach through the platform. But if you're driving people through your YouTube videos, then you can start building up your community. And then as soon as you launch, do you know what your first product would be?
No, probably something to do with the basics, or my take on what you need to know about accounting, really, or in an accounting position. So it'll be something along those lines that I would put together.
So one kind of focused on the entrepreneur and one focused on the career path of I want to be in this field.
Yeah, kind of something like that.
Yeah.
Because that stuff is easy for me. It's that's like coming back to not having to figure anything out. It's I've done it all. I know it all, so I can put that stuff together. And I just don't know if there's a market for it. That's the only thing. If anybody really wants to hear about it.
For sure. I mean, especially on the career side, for people who want to get a career and they don't know how to apply, they don't know what questions to ask, they don't know their chances, they don't know what to expect in the first year, they don't know, all the mistakes that people often make. How much can I negotiate? What should I charge? Like all of these things that, especially people getting in, they don't know how to do. For you to sit down and coach somebody through that is going to be probably not worth your time.
Yeah, no, of course, because like I said, I have a full-time job, so it's believe me, it keeps me busy.
Like if they pay, I don't know what they would. If they're going to pay $100 to sit down for an hour and do it, that's probably not worth your time.
No.
But if you sold that training for $100 or $50,
yeah, exactly,
and then that gets repeated hundreds of thousands of times, right? Now we're starting to leverage your knowledge. So that could definitely work. You just have to now build the audience, build the community of people to know that this even exists.
Yeah, right.
But
And
your
you,
lectures is a great place. Like if you're already filming content, that's the best.
okay. So I would have to literally basically put up a YouTube channel and start like that, posting up that kind of content. And then
Yeah, I
just,
mean, that's not even, I'm not even asking you to do anything that you haven't already done
yeah, yeah,
because you're already making the videos anyway. And if you have any kind of archive of your old videos or any lectures you've done or any speaking engagements that you've done, step one is just upload all that to a YouTube channel,
right,
and you become known as the finance guy, the accounting guy, with all the with all the expertise. The less Canada specific you can be, the better.
okay, okay.
Because most of, I mean, just US is a much bigger market.
Yeah, for sure, for sure.
I'm in Toronto, right? I'm based in Toronto,
Yeah,
Ontario, so I'm
right,
Canadian, but
yeah,
most of my audience is American,
yeah,
and most of the people who will buy your thing will be American, right?
yeah.
Like if your course is how to get a job in accounting in Montreal,
We could hang up now.
you're just not going to get a lot, right?
Yeah,
It's just not enough people. Or Quebec,
no,
okay, a little more.
yeah,
Canada, okay, a little more. But once you
yeah,
go North America, so
yeah,
you know, in your course, there might be some specific things, or in your McGill content, there might be some specific Canada only stuff.
yeah.
But the more you can,
Actually, my course this semester we changed the textbook after a few years. I just changed it, and it's actually the U.S. version
oh, there you go.
of the because it's so similar, anyways.
Yeah,
But I'm actually using the U.S. version of it.
perfect, even better. So
Yeah,
so just be thinking about in your examples, either make it US specific or just be cognizant of, hey, this applies across North America, not trying to make it to
right, right,
Canada
right,
only.
right. Yeah. Okay. No, it's good advice. Okay.
So that's what we do as step one. You make the videos, you already have the videos, you upload them. Step two could be to do more custom videos, like a coaching video helping if somebody's new is coming to the country and wants to learn, or somebody's trying to get into the accounting field, or an entrepreneur is really struggling. Maybe you do a coaching session like this, right?
Right.
You're coaching
Right.
somebody
Yeah.
for free, or you do it
Yeah.
on Zoom. Awesome, right?
Yeah.
For
Yeah.
free,
Yeah.
just to help. But then now you've got content that you put up on your YouTube channel.
Yeah. 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 Exactly. Yeah. Okay.
So it's just it. How often are you doing your
The Zoom thing?
yeah your classes?
Okay, my classes are once a week,
Okay.
which is ending this week because it's the last class.
Yeah.
But that other Zoom, I've done it every Sunday for the last 3 weeks. I'm going on the fourth one, and and it's for free, by the way. We're doing it for free, and we're going to continue probably till the end of Christmas as well. We're going to extend it for free because we're seeing what people like, what people don't like,
And how are you finding people for that Zoom call?
My colleague is the one who has she has a lot of followers in her Facebook or whatever, so she's sending out to them, and people are coming. It's not a lot, but so I'm like the resident expert. I'm just popping in and I'm just giving the information.
Great.
She's grabbing the people, and I'm giving the content.
So
So we want to try to expand that now and try to.
Yeah, I love it. So I don't even care who shows up live for your sessions. If you're doing Zoom and streaming to Facebook or whatever, like I don't care who shows up live. It's more for the ongoing content that you now have a YouTube video.
Right.
Because YouTube content in a year, in 3 years, in 5 years is still getting you views, still getting you traffic, still getting you attention. Somebody now just finds you 3 years later on this video that's still relevant because it's timeless stuff, and now you've got a course to sell. So step one is just take the content. I love the classes, whatever you've got. I mean, you're going to keep teaching, so you're on a break until now, but then January you go back to teaching, right?
Yeah.
So if you're on a schedule where you've got 1 to 2 videos coming up every week between your class, if you're allowed, and the Zoom call, just keep doing. Already, that's awesome. Like you got 2 videos a week that you can upload to your YouTube channel. Amazing.
Yeah.
Start building the following there while you're thinking about what your first product is going to be.
Right. And what I know there's a lot of them. Is that something that you
I wouldn't
suggest?
worry about it right now. No, I wouldn't worry about it right now.
Okay.
I think you got a bigger opportunity with YouTube
Okay.
And if you're already doing Facebook, awesome. But podcasts, if I'm you and I'm trying to learn a skill, I wouldn't learn the podcasting
Okay.
skill. I'd
Okay.
learn YouTube and then start creating your first whatever it is you're going to sell. Like how to land a six-figure accounting job out of school or whatever.
Right. Okay.
What is entry level, by the way? Anyway, I don't know. Is that can you get a six-figure accounting job out of school?
Six-figure accounting job out of school in accounting? No. No.
So like, what's the upper end?
Coming out of school right now, I guess the CPAs, right? They're graduating with CPA and they're probably getting 50, 60 Canadian. I mean, 50, 60 with no experience, but it moves pretty quick. It moves pretty quick with 1 year, 2 years, and 3 years. The issue is the end of the day with the experience is that it's the person really that really matters and makes the difference, irrespective of the education that they have. I've hired senior accountants that have no designation here, but are on fire just because of who they are.
Well, you're selling training, so we got to make sure that your training helps make the difference.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean,
your training can't just be like, be a good person, right?
No, but guiding them and telling them what's important and what they need to do and what they need to know.
Yeah. Or if they can't make six figures out of school, then what's the path? Like, how do I get the job? And then how do I get, how long before a good person can make six figures in a job in accounting?
Yeah.
How many years?
Yeah. I would say someone graduating with a CPA within anywhere between 3 and 5 years. If they're really 5 years would probably be doable. It could be a little accelerated if they're firecrackers, if they're because they're coming in at 60 to 70, then they could prove themselves, they can hop, that because that happens a lot now, and they can hop to 75, 80, and then bang, next thing you know, they're pushing the six figures.
So that's the course. You teach somebody how to do that and how to get the job, how to screen the jobs too, so that you're not locked into a bad company, how to ace the interview, how to talk, what questions are going to be asked, all that stuff. Module 1 is just how do you get the job, but it doesn't just end there. It's about, okay, here's what's going to happen in year 1, 2, 3. Here's what you need to look for. Here's what happens in these accounting firms, the politics, the things to pay attention to.
Exactly.
All of the stuff that you just know because you've been through it, but they have no idea. And if I want to get to that spot, six figures is just a nice.
Yeah. It's right. It's right. Yes. So
if you can tell me how do I get there faster than the average person, besides just being a good person, right? Or being a firecracker. It's not just like work hard, but things I need to pay attention to, and what to expect. Just like the What to Expect When Expecting book, like what to expect in the first couple of years and how to get the best out of it.
By the way, the What to Expect is exactly what I named the second lecture that I had Zoom 2 weeks ago. Okay. Which was exactly the What to Expect when you're showing up for an interview for one of these positions. It's exactly what I called it.
I love it. So there you go. So, maybe module 1 even has something to do with school.
How do you know about what to expect? You're so young.
It's a classic. I have an 11-year-old.
Oh, okay. There you go. Okay. All right.
So maybe even module 1 is in school, while you're still in school, what to focus on and what to pay attention to, and how much do marks matter versus extracurricular versus volunteer versus internships, right? And then module 2 is getting the job, how to ace the interview, all that stuff. And then module 3 is how to progress through especially a big accounting firm, right? It's not just some small company you're working for. It's dealing with politics and managing your bosses and dealing with coworkers and all that kind of stuff to help get you to the job that you want.
Absolutely.
So starting to build out that course, and whether it's written, whether it's a series of videos, whatever you're more comfortable with. It could just be a lecture style module 1, 2, 3, and you break them down. Okay, so this module 2B is the job interview. Here's what's going to happen. Here's what they're going to ask. Here's how you. If you're more comfortable just lecturing it.
I'm good on video. I'm as you said, I'm very comfortable on video form or live form, so I could do that. I'd rather do the video than the written portion.
Great. So you record yourself. I mean, maybe that takes you a weekend because you already know all of it. You just have to kind of structure
the framework.
the framework for it. But then you probably don't even need to have it super all detailed worked out because you've talked about it so often. You just have to know what section is, and each video is 6 to 8 minutes talking about XYZ. Or it could go longer. Like if you just want to talk about the interview, and that's a 45-minute video just talking about the job interview. But basically, you're giving me the whole blueprint of how to go from school to the first job to then progressing in my career. You're going to give that to me in 4 to 6 hours of training, and I'm going to pay $100 for it.
Right. Yeah, got it. Yeah,
and then you can do the same thing on the entrepreneur side of like, hey, most entrepreneurs go bankrupt. However many, whatever percent of businesses fail in 5 years, right? Whether it's 80% or 90% or whatever stat you believe in. And here's the financial side of why you're going to fail, and I'm going to help you out of it. Step 1, right? Know how to read a balance sheet.
Yeah, exactly.
Step 2, like understanding your income statement. Step 3, like you can be profitable and still go out of business, right? Like a lot of the stuff that just people don't understand, and quite frankly are terrified of, because it sounds confusing and they don't get it, and they're just running away. Where if you can help kind of translate the textbook into
that's exactly,
real life, just easy to understand.
What I do. Yeah, I think that's my actual strength, is being able to take that textbook, which is written in a language that very few people can actually understand, and bridge it and let them understand in a way that just, that's what it means.
So that's the second product, right? That's another 4 to 6 to 8 hour program. Of you on video, sharing. Again, so it takes maybe half a day to go through and figure out what your modules are going to be.
Yeah, exactly.
Because you're only talking to things you already know. You don't have to go research anything.
Exactly.
And
that's what I want to
do.
That's exactly what I'm trying to leverage.
Yeah.
I'm trying to leverage all this data bank, database that I have inside of me, basically.
I would spend this break, like once you're done teaching and it slows down a little bit, I would spend that break making your 2 courses, your 2 video courses, right? Somewhere in the 4 to 8 hour range of content.
Okay.
The career path for the accountant, and then the financial path for the entrepreneur. And then that's what you sell. And then to get eyes on it, so people get to know you, we're putting our videos up on YouTube once or twice a week. And you may not have to ever record anything else custom.
Right.
Like if you put up your lectures and you're doing your Zoom calls, that's great. That's a fantastic start. Long form content, and you just put in the description that, hey, you've got these courses that if you want to learn how to make 6 figures as an accountant in your first 3 to 5 years, here,
click that.
$100. $100. I would. I mean, right? Super easy. Or the biggest mistakes that you make, right? So this is now how you start to leverage it versus individual coaching, where you just won't make enough money from it.
All right. Yeah, I appreciate that. Yeah. All right.
Let's go. I'm excited. All right. Cool, man. Good luck. Look forward to tracking your progress.
Yeah, I will. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. I signed up about, this might be the second month that I signed up. I might have signed up sometime in October, beginning of October, I guess, but I still haven't had a chance to go and look at any of the. This is the actual first time I've had a chance to look at. I mean, I've seen your content before. That's what led me to doing it. But this kind of group, I haven't even gotten to it yet. These live, because I know you have those live things twice a week, or so I'm hoping because they're in the middle of the day as well, so it's kind of hard for me to actually get in a position to watch them.
Yeah, it's 10:30 Eastern on a Thursday. All the replays are there too, though. So
I know, that's it. I got to go back to them. Yeah.
Next week we're doing something new. We're doing. I'm giving my feedback on people's content.
Oh yeah. Okay.
So
Okay.
instead of just presenting something, the whole session is going to be, hey, submit what you want me to look at, and I'll give you my take and say, hey, okay, fix this, fix that. This is great. This sucks.
Okay. Okay.
So if you've got a video, like if you can get any video up before next Thursday and submit it, we can
And
get some
I
eyes on
submit
it.
it up to you somewhere to your site, I guess, or by email, or
In the Facebook group,
yeah.
we're going to
Okay.
do a poll request. Should be tomorrow or Friday. That says, hey, what do you want Evan to look at?
Okay. All right. You know
And then
what? I'll take a look at that. Yeah.
you put a link.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just put a
Okay.
link, and then
I'll pop
we'll
it
dive
in
in.
there.
Yeah.
All right. Excellent. All
All
right.
right.
Okay.
Cool, man.
If you ever need a part-time CFO, you can call me.
No, you don't want to do that. You
I
don't want to
know.
do that.
I'm kidding, and I'm happy for those Raptors. By the way, that was nice.
Although
Last year.
they're not even playing in Toronto next season.
No, I know, but just that they won the championship. I thought that was
Making
good.
Canada proud.
That's right. That's
Cool,
right.
man.
Okay. Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Appreciate the
Thank
love.
you.
We'll see you soon.
Okay. All right.
Cheers.
Thank you. Cheers. Thank you.